What's up, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by the man with the picks, Pez. How's it going?
Winter's return here, Jeff. It's like Game of Thrones weather into June now. What happened to spring? This
I don't
this is
know.
what I talk about the FFSN legal team a lot. This is what they should be looking into. I'm about to kick my heat on. You feel like a quitter if you turn the heat back on end of May. You just got to fight through it. My
Yeah.
kid might not make it, but regardless, I am not turning that heat on. My wife is slowing down. It's like cryoport or something in this house. But we need summer, right? We got
Yeah.
football coming, Jeff.
I mean,
I'm
seriously, it's the same here in Maryland. I'm wearing hoodies and pants again. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I'm adding clothes. Like this, it was warmer in April than it was in May.
Eagles fans too, Jeff. We're pumped for this season because the last Super Bowl, we win. We have a quarterback controversy. I'm gonna get angry, Jeff. They put that stupid Carson Wentz back in and cost us probably an extra Super Bowl. Our man Nick Foles, he didn't get the respect he deserved. I don't know what they did. They chickened out on the money, and we know what we're got. We know what we're getting into. We got the same team. I never had this feeling, Jeff. Last time I was like, what are they going to do? We argued all year who should be the quarterback. We're locked in. We're
Yeah.
locked in, and what do we got? About 100 days, I think. Till
100 days,
opening.
little under 100.
Woo! Oh man, let's calm down, Jeff. Let's calm down. I'm getting too pumped up.
Little under 100 until the Dallas Cockroaches invade Philadelphia on Thursday night. If you all lose that game, oh my gosh, I'm never going to let you all hear the end of it. Just saying that right now.
That stadium's gonna blow the roof off of that stadium. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Well, speaking of the cockroaches who have been known to try and weasel their way around certain things, we want to start the show off with a little bit of controversy. I love a good controversy. I think Pez does as well. He's talked about,
Of course.
what is it, the Austrian ski team that's putting stuff in their junk and all that. I don't know. We're not getting into all that.
Jeff, I think you're onto something. I think it's a similar situation we're about to get into here, and I think they need to remedy it in a similar fashion.
Yeah. Now, you joined my Fairways and Dreams podcast last week, and we talked about, we're referring to the golf controversy of Rory McIlroy and others who had their drivers deemed to be non-conforming by the USGA. Now, the USGA does testing. They do not test everyone's driver, and they go through and they test them. If they're non-conforming, they have to remove them from play. Now, it seemed okay, whatever, that's it. And Scotty Scheffler had a non-conforming driver as well after the PGA Championship. And he said, yeah, but we kind of knew this was going to happen. And then Lucas Glover, of all people, Lucas Glover, he's won a major. He's a U.S. Open champion. Can't take that away from him. He, I guess, has a podcast. You told me he had a podcast. I've never listened. But here's what he said. And it's interesting because I looked up the quotes, and there's actually some counter to this. So we'll get into it. Here's what Glover said when he was asked why the USGA didn't just test drivers of every player. Glover's quote was, and I quote, "I've been trying to think all morning and all day how to say this without sounding like it's going to sound, but most guys don't give them their real driver anyways. They give them their backup just in case. I know a lot of guys, they keep two drivers in their bag just in case." This is still Glover speaking. Hey, oh yeah, it's this one. It's this one right here. Yeah, test this one, do this one. End quote. So when you hear that, what do you think, Pez?
Jeff, this is for a gambler. This is what we try to avoid. This is cheating.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is something that is affecting the outcome beyond. I mean, this is akin to PEDs. Am I right? I mean, but it's a PED technical advantage, like Brady taking air out of the ball, possibly, or like we talked about, these Austrian ski jumpers putting extra fabric in the crotch to get extra yardage. It's the same thing, right? They're using a club. Now we're getting a lot of similar, but they're using a club to get extra yardage, which Glover go. Now, our source last week was, associate of mine, the six-string punter from about 30 years ago, and he thought it would be the flex of the shaft, which I think they test too. I didn't know this, Jeff. Glover explained the more a bomber hits a driver, the thinner he wears that metal down, they get more bounce. So you get more yardage, right? Yeah. I mean, what's going on here?
So, well, let's look at the counter now. But we can run with what Lucas Glover said. But according to the Associated Press, here is what Mike Wan, the CEO of USGA, he said about Lucas Glover's comments. All right, so he talked about this. He said, quote, "We keep serial numbers of the driver that were given to us, and 90% of the drivers that were given us in those practice facilities when we tested played on the first tee. So they're actually tracking to make sure that the driver that they tested is the driver that's in play." And he said, and we expect 10% of players to make changes anyways. I don't think that's a real concern for us. Then he went on to say later that when they talk about passing these drivers, just to give you, this is not a quote, this is what they do. He said the test results are green, pass, yellow, getting close, and red, fail. They are kept confidential to prevent a routine matter from getting too much attention, as was the case at Quail Hollow for the PGA Championship. His quote, this is again Juan talking. He said, if they get a yellow, they start preparing for a backup driver or a switch. It seemed like a big week to everybody else, but for us, it was a pretty standard week. This makes sense, before I throw it over to you, Pez, of why Scotty Scheffler said when his driver was deemed non-conforming, we knew it was going to be close. We were prepared for it. My guess is that Scotty's driver had been listed as yellow, and then when they tested it, he had already had a backup ready to go. They take it off and he's ready. He's fine. It's not like it's a huge deal. So my question for you, outside of answering or responding to what that gentleman said, is there a difference between what happened to Rory and Scotty, in your opinion?
Well, perhaps both guys didn't turn in the driver that they really wanted to play with, right? Glover mentioned this too, that you could have two identical clubs.
Yes.
Come off the factory floor right after each other. And he quoted, I don't know, it's Ben Hogan, no two golf clubs in the world are the same, right? It's like a human. Even identical twins going to be a little different. So I have suspicions about this. And, maybe Scotty Scheffler, maybe he's so good it didn't really matter to him. But when we look at the numbers, Jeff, so we're digging deep here, because I'm starting to get pissed off that Roy won this Masters, and FFSN legal team about to have another scandal for them. So his driver distance in this Masters, pretty shocking, Jeff. 329 yards off the tee. I mean, that means for these guys that are listening that didn't pay attention to math, that's fine. We're not judging. Average means half of his drives went further than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of that first tee shot on Sunday. He cleared that right trap on one. I don't think I've ever seen anybody ever do that. Tiger Woods never did that, right? And I know Rory is considered one of the greatest drivers of the golf ball ever, but Tiger, if we look at his numbers, he wins his first Masters with in 97, 323 yards. So can anybody ever hit it further than Tiger Woods? I don't know, Jeff, maybe. But in his last Masters win, he hits at 296 yards. So it seems like as you get older, you should be losing distance. I don't think these guys are losing distance anymore, right? And, when Rory loses that driver, his next tournament, his average driving distance was 324 yards. So he went down. I mean, he cleared. Now, you could argue the course was wet in that second tournament or whatever it may be, but I think they got to test everybody's driver in every major field. You got guys coming from LIV, Europe Tour, Asia Tour, Latin American Tour. Who knows what's what, right? A guy could carry an illegal club if they're only testing 30 at a tournament. A guy could carry a juice club that he knows is a juice club only at the majors and get away with it, right? And are they allowed to ever use it again? I don't know. Do they give the club back? I mean, this smelling something fishy, Jeff. Maybe that's Shambo, maybe that Rory, maybe they're not as dominant as we're looking at them, and maybe there's a little bit of a juice bat thing going on here.
I will say that I think there is a difference between Rory and Scotty. And I'll tell you why. You bring up those numbers from the Masters and they don't lie. I mean, that is the way that Rory performed at Augusta National this past spring. And then you look at the PGA Championship, Scotty's driver was taken out of his bag before the tournament. And while he didn't hit the ball as well as we're used to him seeing, he still won the major.
Yep.
So if his bag, okay, so Rory's bag gets taken. Okay, so I'm sorry, driver gets taken out of the bag. That's what I should say. He does not play well at Quail Hollow, and he normally owns that golf course.
Yep.
He barely makes the cut. He doesn't speak to the media once. And it's like, wait a sec. There's two sides of this. Scotty openly talked about it. Yeah, we thought it was going to be close. My guess is that his driver had been yellow in terms of the green, yellow, red scale that we talked about just a few minutes ago, and that he was preparing a backup for that. And maybe that had something to do with his issues driving the golf ball at Quail Hollow, because he was all over the map. And the rest of his game is just so good. That's how he still won the major. But still, I think there's a difference. You agree or disagree?
I would agree. I think reactions tell a lot, right? I'm a former career poker player. So when a guy acts like Scotty and goes out and wins, you can't accuse that guy of cheating. But the guy went out and won. So, hey, who are we to say? Rory, the play was, far, far less than what he was at the match. That Masters looked like he would never lose again. This is a Rory we said 10 years ago and win 30 majors, right? And his reaction, not talking to the media. I think he knew. I'd like to ask him this. Did you use that driver to win the Masters, right? And if it was illegal, did you get tested? And if he didn't, I don't know, Jeff. I think we're on to something. This is maybe it's not the ball they need to worry about in golf. Maybe it's keeping these drivers kind of legit, kind of like stock car racing, right? In NASCAR, you got to have the same technical equipment to find out the best driver. Maybe we need to get to something like this in golf. I don't know if it's possible, Jeff. It would go bankrupt. We go the big club makers, but maybe there's a limit to spring or whatever reverb off of the club face. Maybe they got to get on this a little bit tighter on everybody.
Here's what's interesting. Go back in time to the Players' Championship. Rory wins the Players' Championship, and he wins in a playoff. Do you remember the storyline that happened with him, with his driver? Do you remember what that was?
Did he crack a driver head, or he replaced him?
He had someone drive to Southern Florida, where he lives, I guess where he resides, Jupiter, and drive it to, he had an Uber driver pick up one of his older drivers and Uber it to Jacksonville, or the Jacksonville area, Point Vedra, and he ends up winning the Players. What driver was he using for the Players? Was it the non-conforming driver? I'm curious.
What is it, Wonder Boy? You're sending the Uber driver to get Roy Hobbs bat? They must know something, right? They know how far each club's going. These guys know if they're like a yard off. So I don't know. I wonder how they look at it. He's going to get this question. I have a feeling he didn't talk to the media because he knew it was coming, and he's waiting for maybe the smoke to clear. And I know they're going to ask him. Did you use that one at the Masters? Do you think it helped you? Right? Duh. I don't know.
And then he backs out. He backs out of the signature event this weekend, the Memorial Jacks tournament. He doesn't play, and it just adds to it. It adds to everything. It's just snowballing on it.
Are we seeing a Tiger Woods fall from Roy? And is he going to go to live, Jeff? This would be amazing. It's going to be the story of golf history. He said "F you" to the PGA, and he mooned them, and he went to live. His old nemesis, right? Like Suge Knight. Biggie maybe hugging it out instead of killing each other, right? What's
You're
going on?
You're bringing up death row records when we're talking about golf.
As a gambler, Jeff, this pisses me off. I don't. Cheating, and it's what we talk about in the NFL all the time. The NFL, Tom Brady taking air out of the ball, taping the warm-ups, the Patriots. That was crap, Jeff, and I hate them for it. But they try their best to prevent cheating, prevent any type of unfair advantage. And we're at the point now, guys are covering their face because they're hiring lip readers. So that league, we know what we're getting into. I think a lot of these, baseball, we talk with these new torpedo bats, and I don't know. I think equipment at this point is just as important as the human when you're playing a technical sport. You invest a lot of money in this stuff. So I wonder, are they getting guys to use machines to wear that face down and kind of hit a repeat, driver to wear that? I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure I'm sure that Shambo's doing it, the scientist dude.
I will say this. I'm going to have to play this part for my wife because she gets mad that I'm always bashing Rory McIlroy because I can't stand him. I don't. What's that?
I hate him too, Jeff. He's too pouty.
But let me say this. I don't blame Rory McIlroy. I, God's honest truth, don't. I blame the USGA. You should be testing every club and every bag every time they get onto a PGA Tour event. This is their fault. It's not if you talk about go back into all the greatest scandals. Sammy Sosa using a corked bat. Okay, you got caught. You should maybe be checking the bats every time, MLB. Like, I don't know.
I mean, why wouldn't you? There's a billion golf nerds out there that want to test clubs and use machines, and I mean, this is how they make money, right? I don't know. Kind of pisses me off, Jeff. Maybe our man Lucas. Maybe he's like the Joan of Arc of golf or something. This guy's revealed it. He's going to blow the whole thing up. Maybe Lucas Glover goes on a major run now. Maybe this guy. Is it Ken Griffey Jr.? Is Lucas Glover the Ken Griffey Jr. of the steroid era, Jeff? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
He's the whistleblower. Is he the Jose Canseco of?
that dude looks like in the locker room he's welcoming someone to punch him in the face. That guy looks like he's been in some scraps. That's a Southern boy right there, Jeff. And I think that dude kind of has some street cred. He's probably a straight shooter, kind of tells the truth guy. And I will see if this story goes.
Hey, just a real quick side before we move on to NBA. We'll get to golf at the end of the show. Lucas Glover, mad props to him. Why? He was on the Atlanta Drive Company or the Atlanta Drive Club of the TGL. They won the championship this year. He won several $1 million. Guess how many matches he played in? One. He played in one match.
Backup quarterback genius. I mean,
exactly.
That's the move. I think he dips, Jeff. I think he's still doing some skull dip too, which I know is horrible.
The Zin. They're all Zins.
I think it's real tobacco in there, and he's like a cowboy out there. I love that dude. He sweat through his pants with his return win after like 2 decades of losing. Remember, the guy was dripping. It became a meme. My kid tells me about it all the time. The sweaty ass guy, he calls him.
All right, so leaving the golf talk, let's talk about the NBA. We've kind of cooled off a little bit. I know we had some wins, but we see it's sporadic. Postseason continues to rage on. What do you think about basketball?
Jeff, we missed a couple. We're at 15-9 now on the playoffs. The best viewing NBA playoffs I can remember in a long, long time. It's been great. The physical play has changed the game, and it's made it a little more predictable. But I think Vegas is getting better at calling these lines. Oklahoma City, Minnesota the other night, we lost by a point. This New York Pacers series we laid off last night. We're taping on Wednesday. Too close to call some of these games. So we're still looking for the advantage when it's there. We're going to play it. We're not taking Minnesota, Oklahoma City tonight. When you have a team blow a team out, that's out there and it's possible. I don't know. I don't like closeout games. Closeout games are very difficult to bet unless it's a game 7. I think that changes things. So we'll keep an eye out on that. We do have some baseball action going live, Jeff. So people are going to hear this. It'll be a day old, but it's Wednesday, and we got Jeff. You know our rule. When Paul Skeens is getting money, I don't care if he's playing I don't know what's one of those great Yankees teams, the 59 Yankees. I don't know these years, but I'd put him up against the Yankees All-Star team for getting money. This kid, he's amazing, right? I mean, you look at his numbers, his strikeout to pitch numbers or to walk numbers he's the man. I think we're looking at if he gets some more wins, this guy's Cy Young guy.
But he's not the concern, Pez. The concern is, can the Pirates score runs to support him? And the losses that he's had this year, I think he's gotten a total of maybe 5 total runs and run support. They're awful. It's the worst offense in Major League Baseball. Well, and I'm a Pirates fan.
Listen, these are valid points, Jeff. And in a perfect world, I like the Pirates. They have great uniforms. They do. A cool team. But I had this conversation with somebody in Atlantic City over the weekend. Went to a great Afghani restaurant in Atlantic City, Jeff. You got it all here in South Jersey. I mean, it was like going in there. The guy told me, you're like eating at my house in Afghanistan. It was very good, a lot of kebabs. But anyway, had a conversation with the guy there. It sounds a little shady. Maybe it was. But I explained to him, our baseball, when you're betting baseball, you have to just bet the pitcher. Right? You can't bet hitting. You almost have to ignore it in a way. because the pitcher is guaranteed, a certain number of wins. I mean, when you have a guy with a winning percentage or strikeout percentage, he's going to carry innings without giving up runs. So if a team's hitting, I don't know, what's Pittsburgh hitting, 230? If a team's hitting 230 going up against a team hitting 260, which would be a top in the league, that's not too many different hits. I mean, that's not much, over 10 batters, right? We're talking maybe one hit. So, of course, I'd like Pittsburgh to be a better hitter. I like any team to be a better hitter, but the idea behind baseball and wagering is all about the pitcher, and it changes everything about the game. And to the point, you almost can ignore the record of the team. We did this with Skubal last year. You can ignore the crappy hitting, and Seattle won a bunch of games last year, I think, hitting 207. So it's stressful, Jeff. I like your Pittsburgh team. It's so stressful. But right now, Pittsburgh up 1-0, bottom of the second. This is big news, Jeff. They got a run before the third inning. I don't know when the last time the team's done that. 2 hits, so I don't think a dinger. But yeah, Paul Skeens, Skubal, anytime you get a top 5 pitcher in any league with positive or even money, you just got to take it. I mean, this is what you look at every day. You gotta have the discipline to look at these games every day and be like, maybe I should throw a minus 295 on the Yankees. That's just suicide, Jeff. We can't do that. I mean, I used to do it in my younger days, but that is not a wise recommendation. It's just not.
So to clarify for all those Bucco fans out there, which I am, the Pirates have a team batting average currently of 225. They are batting 225.
Whew. So, they're getting a little bit under 10, two and a half hits every 10, and maybe a good team's getting a little over 2.5. So we got to look at, but this guy Skeens, he's not giving up cheap home runs. He's not walking dudes in. This is where I think that these lines are a little bit crazy. In the dark undercover days of gambling, you would never get Paul Skeens at plus 115. He could be playing the assembly of the greatest, resurrected baseball players ever, and they'd still have a negative number. So, bookies thought of these things, and they weren't giving discounts. I think they just punch these numbers, right? I don't think they care about name. I don't think they take any of that into account. I don't think they take a lot of, things we would look at as traditional things to look at in baseball, wind or weather. And I don't think they care as much anymore. They're making so much money that it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that happens with Skeens, and he's a good pitcher. I just wouldn't bet him don't ever bet him against the Cardinals. He's never beaten the Cardinals in his career, which is weird.
Ooh. Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, at this point, we almost
have to bet him every time. He will eventually.
I mean, maybe we're betting him next time he plays with Cardinals, unless he's a minus 150 or greater. After that, forget about it. There's nobody. Every pitcher is going to lose. The best one's going to lose 5 or 6 games. So it's better to look for advantages where you're getting an even to good return on your money, because they're all going to lose. I mean, this is baseball. Play 162 games. It's ridiculous.
All right. So we have some time before the Belmont. Do you want to say anything about that, or you want to go right into golf?
Let's wait till next week on that Belmont, okay. Jeff. That race sucks the life out of it. So long and boring. It's like the most sad ending to the greatest 3-race horse race in the world, and that one's kind of always like, hey, Belmont. But we'll dial it. We're gonna try and pick a winner. We got to get a winner.
They need another Triple Crown horse, Secretariat of Seabiscuit.
That'd be great. Smarty Jones was a big one about 15 years ago. That was a fun horse.
All right. So let's finish this podcast up. The golf is a signature event. We know what that means. Smaller field, no cut line. A lot of crazy odds out there for golf as the Memorial. They head to Jack Nicklaus's his tournament. It's his course, Muirfield Village in Ohio, Berlin to be specific. Right now, let's go to the top 5 golfers in terms of odds. I have, and this is as of me earlier this week, getting these odds. They might have changed slightly. Scotty Scheffler plus 280. He won it last year. Colin Morikawa and Xander Schauffele both at plus 1,600. Justin Thomas at plus 1,800. And Patrick Cantlay, who won it in 2021, gets plus 2,200. Remember, no Rory. He's not playing. Jack was pissed. But other than that, what do you think about this Memorial tournament?
Rory's soft, Jeff. Of course. I mean, soft. Soft. Who disses Jack Nicklaus? Right? What's up with this? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Something's going on with that dude. But how about last week? We have like a realtor loan officer guy come back to the tour and win a PGA tournament.
Oh, no, hold on.
That was awesome.
Ben Griffin won the Zurich with Andrew Novak, that team event down in New Orleans. This is his second win of the season.
Didn't he quit and he was working he had like a regular desk job for a while, I believe.
Well, he was considering that. That was before he had his PGA Tour card. This story is getting so misconstrued and overblown. I've never seen it's crazy.
The fact that guy can win, though, right? I mean, nobody knows that. I mean, maybe, I've heard his name. He's got the cool glasses, the bearded glasses. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that's badass, right? He's walking around knowing I look badass. So the fact that he won and beat Scottie Scheffler and some of the best players in the world, that just tells you golf it's a stupid, crazy game. I don't know if anyone can really predict what's going to happen other than Scheffler's going to be top 5, right? I mean, we know that. He stunk last week and he almost won, right? He just has an advantage right now.
Horrible odds with Scottie, top 10, top 5, just horrible odds.
Horrible, which tells you something. Right?
Yeah.
We go from 280 Scheffler to Schauffele, which is, who would bet him? Has he played well yet? Did he have his splits cut open? He's the second favorite plus 1,600. He's our hope to beat Scheffler. Ain't happening. Morikawa, maybe Justin Thomas. He's won there, I believe, hasn't he? I mean,
at Muirfield, I think maybe.
This is a tough course. I think, it's going to obviously iron players. Maybe Shane Lowry at plus 4,000 isn't a bet. Maybe Sepp Straka plus 4,500. That guy never misses a fairway. I know in this tournament, generally the rough is ridiculous. It's like U.S. Open rough, and Jack likes watching them suffer. Guy doesn't want them coming and showing him up, right? It's Jack Nicklaus. So I don't know. I kind of like a Sepp Straka plus 4,500. I think that's a good return. Any of these guys before him could win. I don't know. Tommy Fleetwood, I feel bad for him, Jeff. We should be pulling for him plus 2,500. He's got to win at some point.
Hey, I hit Tommy Fleetwood top 5 last week.
Big class. I was like, cheering for him.
Plus 450. He had that birdie putt roll in on 18 that got him into the top 5. So Fairway Jesus cashes me out last week.
Gambling is the greatest thing in the world. I didn't have any money on it, but every time I watch that Nike commercial with Tiger chipping in on 17 at the mat, and I think how excited I would have been if I won money on that. I try to imagine what bet that could have been, but somebody did. It's awesome.
Hey, here's if people want. Okay, so but I've got Scottie to win outright because if I'm trying to give people a winner, that's a good bet at plus 280. I know it's not a good odds. Long shot. I think Ludwig Oberg, who's already won one signature event at plus 2,200, is not a bad play. This guy's due. He likes the bomber courses. This is a bomber course. But here's some bonus plays that I don't know if people realize they can get. So you want Scottie top 5, right? You can have a play of Scottie Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. Xander Schauffele's rolling into form. I think he's actually going to be better. If they both finish in the top 5, you can get plus 500 odds. And then you could have Justin Thomas, Ludwig Oberg, and Patrick Cantlay. Cantlay does play well at Muirfield. If they all finish in the top 20, that's plus 370. So you can get some pretty interesting odds there with these different plays, which is different than an individual being in the top 5, top 10, top 20.
The lure of the parlay. I mean, this is it. Yeah. This is all that they're thinking about, those odds, and they don't care about these straight bet odds anymore, but they sound reasonable, right? I mean, that does sound reasonable, even though Cantlay may be the most hated golfer of my life, Jeff. I don't know why. I just hate this.
Nah, it's Patrick Reed. That's Patrick Reed.
Well, scumbags are a little bit more likable. I mean, that guy's he'll steal your wallet. He'll get drunk and take his shirt off. Cantlay, just a douche, Jeff. I mean, I don't even.
He is.
I can't.
Takes forever. Takes forever.
He complained about not getting paid for the Ryder Cup. He's worth like $50 million. Scumbag. He should go to live, Jeff. Let's trade him. I'll take Koepka back. He's going to fight somebody, Jeff. This is maybe a bet. I don't know if we have it on legitimate. You get it in Vegas or bookie, I'm sure. Will Koepka fight someone in the crowd at the U.S. Open? I think it's possible. In New York?
Good.
Oh, they're going to ride.
No, New York would be the Ryder Cup. Oakmont, outside of Pittsburgh, is where the U.S. Open is.
Right. Oh, yeah, I got ahead of myself there.
Hey, Western PA folks will fight, just so you know.
Absolutely.
Would you trade Patrick Cantlay for Patrick Reed with a live PGA switch?
I would, Jeff. Patrick Reed, at least. I'm excited to watch him cheating. Remember, he moved the sand at Tiger's
Oh, yeah.
celebrity tour. It was like a hey, let's get drunk on my yacht tournament with 20 guys. He's cheating. He adjusted the bunker. If I saw one of my friends, I wasn't even gambling. I'd get on about that. I love Reed. Reed's great. Cantley's just boring. He's just an asshole.
He is very boring. And that's why when he was on the TGO, I'm like, why is this guy on the TGO? He has the persona of a wet mop. Like, this is awful. They try to interview him. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to hit good golf shots. Like, can you give us something, man? Like,
yeah. What are you, an artist? You don't want to talk your trade with us? Okay. Got you, buddy. Yeah. You're saving the world here.
All right, Pez, you have any final thoughts?
Let's hope for Skeens, Jeff. I'm pulling for your Pirates. I don't know. I mean, maybe another managerial change will help. Maybe something. Where are we at in the standings here with these guys? Oh, they're not
good.
Well, I've got a little. They got about a 1% chance of making the postseason based on what I just looked up, Jeff. So that's one. You got to start somewhere. I mean, we got 2/3 of the season.
Has a team ever fired 2 managers in one season?
That's a good question. Possibly the Yankees. Maybe Steinbrenner.
Steinbrenner was there, yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to get my kid out to that town. Cool town, Pittsburgh. And I hope you get that whack job Rogers. I hope. We need it. I need something to watch out there. I can't watch another boring Pittsburgh quarterback. We got to get somebody exciting.
Fair. All right. Make sure you check out Pez on Instagram and on Twitter at Pez's Picks, as we're going to have the latest plays, the latest odds, all right there. Again, at Pez's Picks, PEZSPICKS. And that does it for another weekly podcast. We'll be back next week. Pez, in the meantime, take it easy.
Later.